You're doing actually a good job today, which is surprising. Hello, is this Kyle?
Yep, yes it is.
Kyle, how are you? Paul from Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. We have Tommy in the studio. I have to tell him to say hi.
Hey, what's going on, Kyle? I miss you, buddy.
What's going on, guys?
Kyle, I can't tell you how happy I am to actually get to talk to you. And we love having people on the show who've been subscribers. Not only that, but you were a sponsored rep for us. But there's the photo that you sent in is just...
Yeah, Kyle has always sent in photos that have just... Every time I've opened it, it's like, you got a message from Kyle Thompson? I was just like, I start laughing.
Yeah, the photo that he sent in with... We had a Kiss My Bass
either that or it was like
promotion.
Fish Lip February or something, and he was just blowing us a kiss in the picture. It was hilarious.
You always get involved in whatever promotion we have, so thank you very much.
Love it.
And I picture you, like, when I picture fishing and a person that should be on the cover of our website, it just screams Kyle. Like, I wanted, like, I often tell Tommy I want him to dress up like as a mermaid, and because I have this fishtail outfit that I took a picture of, and I told Tommy, you need to wear this. And we're going to do the show and our YouTube channel with us wearing fins. And when I was thinking of that, my example is, can you imagine seeing Kyle in this? Like, this is what's going to get people to smile. It's ear-to-ear smiles. And that's what we're about. We're about spreading.
I would have to tell you, that would probably be quite a few beers to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But that would be funny.
It would. I agree. It would be funny. However, that would be a few beers away for me to go, hey, all right, I'll put on the mermaid tail, and we'll rock this. No, I would have to be a few beers deep in that one.
Well, Kyle, the idea behind the show is to spread happiness to the world through the joys of fishing. And the photo you sent in is, let's hear about where you caught that and what bait you were using, and of course what size that fish is, because it looks massive. And if you're listening to we're laughing because if you're listening to the podcast, Kyle's fish, Kyle is a big dude and the fish is tiny, and so that's we want to hear about that. We want to hear your fish story. So go ahead, Kyle. This is your podcast.
It's been quite a while since I caught that, so I couldn't really tell you exactly what I used. I'm sure it was a Senko.
You can make it up.
Me and Joe love those Senkos.
Joe McCarthy.
Do we miss Joe too?
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen him in a while. He's been doing his own thing, and
we're gonna have Joe on the show as well, because Joe was a sponsored rep as well.
Yeah. And
so we need to call Joe.
But okay, back to Kyle.
Back to Kyle, because Kyle and you are quite similar in that.
I love Kyle. Kyle, you know what? Honestly,
you guys are funny.
Like I said, there's a few guys that I have handpicked.
Yes.
And it was Glenn, and it was Josh, and it was Kyle, and it was Joe. Those were my four dudes. Those were my boys. And
it just as an aside, Kyle, just so you know that when we were discussing this, we wanted to have our version of pro staff like spread out throughout the nation, but for some reason Tommy got you and like four guys that live within like miles of each other, and I was like, Tommy, we don't just sell boxes in Pennsylvania.
Glenn is a little Glenn was further away.
Glenn's in Tennessee,
but
Glenn in Tennessee, and then the rest of us are right here in Pennsylvania.
But you guys are all buddies. You guys all know each other, but it was just the fact that I felt that kind of camaraderie with you guys, and I was like, you know what? These are my dudes. These are my guys. These are my pick. And
that's how that picture of the fish comes out.
Exactly.
Without this group of guys, when we're out fishing alone, it's like, well, how'd you make out? if you don't take a picture, it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Well, I take a picture of everything.
Big or small, and there you go.
So that little 6.5 pounder, that was a bad one. It about broke my pole.
You know that it actually 6.5 pounds is a pretty good sized fish, but Kyle looks like a monster.
That was a 6.5
like just
inch.
giant.
That was a 6.5 inch fish. That pound.
I wouldn't even give it that. That sucker.
Oh man!
But I think my Senko was about 3 times longer than
it. That's awesome. No, I mean, and like I said, Kyle, man, I love the hat in the picture.
You know what? For those of you listening, we wanted to, when we have a sponsored rep, we send them out shirts and hats. Mm-hmm. But we, like Tommy, we don't have a hat big enough for Tommy, and the same is true for Kyle. We didn't have a hat big enough for him, so we sent him the patch so he could put it on his own hat. And just so you don't, you're not alone.
I did have one of those fitted hats. They were nice.
Okay.
But it got ruined from over the summer use, so I threw this patch on one of my other favorite hats, and it worked out good.
It looks good, man. I love it. And then, I know, like I said, I mean, I am. You always are welcome back anytime.
To the sponsorship program.
To the sponsorship program. And the show. And to anything. I'm back onto the show. Kyle, you still are and always will be one of my boys, man. And, I'm
hoping here soon to get back into it.
I got you covered, brother. I got you covered.
We saw the review this morning, so thank you very much. All reviews, good or bad, that we welcome them.
Preferably good,
but people need to, we're honest here at Outsiders, so that we have some people that are not happy with our box, and that's okay.
And some people, they just...
You'll get that in all of them. I've tried different boxes, and I wasn't happy with theirs either, but you get that in every box.
That's it.
I mean...
We try our best month to month, but we don't
90% of the stuff that I got from you guys, I used. There might have been a couple of, crankbaits that I couldn't use, because, honestly, our rivers aren't that deep.
Yeah.
And... 25, 30-foot deep diver isn't going to work around here.
No, but you know what? That's the kind you hang on your wall and you show it off for decoration. Be like,
actually, I took the hook off and hung it off my rearview mirror.
There you go. See, one day I'm going to use this thing.
But, and you know what? It's funny when you catch a fish using stuff that you weren't supposed to be using. Tommy likes to tell a story about me going fishing at a trout derby. And somebody was fishing for bass, and we were fishing for trout. Obviously, it's a trout derby.
They were fishing for trout with bass gear.
With bass gear, and they...
And they caught fish, and Paul didn't.
Yes, they did. He points that out often.
Because, I point it out because...
it's funny. Because it's funny.
Point blank, Paul sucks. And... I'm just playing with it. I love Paul.
No, you're probably right. I can agree.
Yeah, exactly. See, there it is. He knows. He must have been at the same school you went to. He's got he knows about your master's degree that didn't work either.
You know what's?
I saw the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Glenn.
See, yeah. He's got a master's degree. It don't work.
I highlight that nowhere. I mean, I promote education. Sure, people should if they love to learn. If they just like reading coloring books like you, Tommy, I mean, it's not...
I don't read coloring books. I read pop-ups. They tell more of a story.
Oh, yeah.
All I did was study just a little bit.
And I get surprised every page.
Kyle, I get ridiculed everywhere I go fishing, and people oftentimes... Like I said on the previous podcast, when we go anywhere and somebody has to explain anything, they're like, just tell Paul. And they tune out completely. It's a lot of pressure, Kyle, because... they just assume that I will know and remember everything.
It's because you look like a nerd.
It's like all I did was I studied a little bit. That doesn't mean that you could just hand over the boat and expect me to know everything. And anytime we get digital marketers or people talking to us about business, Tommy tunes out completely. He's like, just talk to Paul.
Here's the thing, Kyle. I tune out because, I'd rather not listen. So
that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, see, so I mean, I'm an honest man. I'll sit there and go, I'm checking out. Talk to Paul. And that's it.
I got a funny story for you, Kyle. We're talking business to these people. They're giving us products or a presentation, a pitch. I don't know. But Tommy is on his phone. They're talking to us, doing a presentation, and they're right in front of us. But Tommy is scrolling through his social media, not even like outside or tackle box, but he's scrolling through his phone, and I'm looking at I'm engaged, right? Because you should be, out of just being polite. And I look at Tommy, and I'm trying to like nudge him. And I'm like, dude, they're giving us a presentation for product, and like something we could potentially use. And Tommy's tuned out completely. Because he just wants me to do he's like Paul got he has this.
I think I was watching on how to make the perfect hot wings on my on Facebook or something like that. I was like, "Whoa, this looks good."
Completely tunes out. It's funny.
Because honestly, sometimes I live for the moment. So sometimes I'm like, I'm hungry. I could use some hot wings, and so that's all that was going on. But Paul was you weren't mad, but you were like, "Dude, what is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. What'd she say?" And you were like, "Well, if you were listening, you were all mad." Like, wow. But yeah, no. I mean, it's this whole journey has been a fun one. We enjoy it, and with people like you guys, and I say my boys because the four of you are still my boys. With the four of you guys, it has made it fun. I looked forward to sending you guys stuff. Exactly. And, the thing about it is it's not like we aren't like a normal company.
No.
We take care of our people. For us, it's a camaraderie. It's more or less like a brotherhood. We love you guys. And we show you.
Let's say family.
It's a family. Okay, fine.
Let's not exclude females, Tommy.
Okay, when I said brotherhood, it didn't mean I was excluding females.
It kind of sounded like that. I just wanted to throw that in.
Because I love Jamie and John.
I know. I didn't want to interrupt your monologue, but I wanted to include both male and female.
You wanted to get me off my soapbox, I see.
Yeah, sort of. No, I just want to, I'm inclusionary. Is that a word?
I don't know. You tend to make up your own words. Master's degree.
If I use any word that's slightly big, this is what this is how the conversation goes.
Yeah, that's true. He just likes.
It's not even a big word.
He just makes up crap as he goes along. New word. Welcome to the world. New word.
Right.
So this is a fishing podcast. How's the weather, and is it starting to change? And what's the fishing like when that happens for bass? Or fishing in general?
Actually, the last few months has been nothing but rain. I was able to get out last weekend, but no such luck. I think the water temperature just changing so fast.
Oh, probably.
Now I woke up and there's a dusting of snow already.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that'll.
I know.
Put a damper.
Actually, a buddy of mine just sent me a picture last night. He lives in Bath, New York, which is about an hour from me.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 2 inches on the ground.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we toyed with the idea.
Yeah,
we're sorry to hear that because, well, I mean, there is.
It sounds like they're going to have a cold winter. It sounds like they're just going to have a really, really long winter.
That is very observant of you, Tommy.
Oh, yeah,
he says there's snow on the ground,
we've
so
had
you
so much rain this year, it's not even funny.
See.
A lot of our fishing has been cut out because of the rain, the flooding, and all of our ponds would get all nasty, and it's just a horrible year.
Yeah.
Well, we hope it gets better.
Hopefully. Yeah, I mean...
if nothing else, just send us pictures of you and our hat.
Yeah.
And a pole.
Yeah.
Or just sitting in your boat, like in the yard, like we told Chris. We had another caller, Christopher Bailey. He's a kayak fisherman, and we told him, what you should do is when it's off season. I'm going to tell you the same thing. You should just start taking pictures in different parking lots in your boat.
Yes.
Just be like at the McDonald's parking lot. You're like sitting in my boat, tying a knot. And people just look at you.
I wonder if Walmart would frown on fish in their
parking lot.
Fish tank.
Yeah. You know what? That would be hilarious, but I don't want to get you kicked out of Walmart. I can just imagine you with like a piece of fishing line and a little hook, like dipping it in the fish tank. Come here, fishy, fishy, fishy. And they're just like, "Sir, you need to
That would
leave."
be pretty cool. That's fun.
They're like,
They
"You
got some
need."
big fish over there.
Oh, you're like, "You need to leave." Our algae eaters are getting angry.
Right?
Well, you can
That'd be
always
fun.
send
That'd be
us
funny sight.
callers, people. You know, you already do this for us, but spread the outsider name. Send us over people who would like to be on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We also have, since actually, you know, I know you've always been tied in, but some new things that we have is we have your ability to sell stuff on our site now.
Yep.
So
I've
you're able.
seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yep. You can sell your new and used items and you know, sell them to anybody around the nation.
Yeah, and Kyle, we actually got our box in Germany now, so we are worldwide.
We're international.
We are international.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our podcast is on many platforms. We just got picked up by iHeartRadio. We're already on Spotify, of course, iTunes.
Podbean.
Podbean is our hosting site, so thank you very much to Podbean. But we are growing, and it's all good things. Thanks for being on the ride with us.
It's all thanks to people like you and Glenn and everybody. I mean, you guys have been with us since the get, and you know, we couldn't be more thankful.
Man, thank you guys.
But I do know that you had messaged me about the banner, and I will try to see what I can do for you for a banner for your shed. However, that particular banner was a sponsor or
we sponsored a local baseball team.
Yeah, and
that's why we made it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to go back out next year, so I can't send that particular one. However, I will look into seeing about getting how much banners would be and getting one sent out to you to put on your shed, and you can take pictures next to it. You know, show it off, tell your friends.
Well, thanks for being on the show, Kyle. We're gonna definitely have you back just because we like talking to you, and please continue to spread the word about OutsiderTackleBox.com. Our subscription boxes.
You almost messed up that word.
I included the B. Sometimes I drop it. It's the silent
It's
B.
not silent.
Subscription. I said subscription. And we'll have you back soon. And I know the fishing is might be a little bit slow. Snow?
It might be a little snow. See,
Yeah.
Kyle, master's degree. That's
If
all
you
I'm
could
saying.
only
I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to pick on him.
no, please,
no.
Kyle. I enjoy it. It's
You know what?
actually great.
I pick on him on a daily basis. It's like it's just fun that way.
Oh, how can I not bring this up with Kyle? Kyle, Tommy's beer is pink today. His beer, we've already tested it. His beer is expecting. It'll have a miniature beer in about 9 months.
Yeah.
His pink beer's pregnant.
Yeah, if you look
Nice.
if you look on the YouTube, it is pink. But I didn't pour it. Paul poured it for me, and I was like, "What's up with the pink beer?" He's like, "I don't know. 9 months later, it'll grow into a real one." So
I do things on purpose early because it's early, and Tommy sometimes forgets to show up for the radio show. Like, he just completely forgets, right? So, like, you can imagine when he gets here, he's not really paying attention.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's a perfect time to pour your buddy a pink beer when they're not watching. Like, he'll just drink it. He's not even looking.
yeah, the first time I drank it was interesting. It's a raspberry beer, so it took me off guard.
I do all of this for laughs. So if you have a joke that you want to throw my way, I more than enjoy it. I love to make fun of myself too. So it's actually
try real
our
hard.
messaging. Sometimes people are like, "Hey, Paul, does that shirt come in like a man size?" Because
I think he shops for like little boy shirts and puts them on. He's like, "Look, I got muscles."
it's already in a size extra large,
Like,
but
it's
because
not-
I go to the gym
It's not
a little
muscles, you
bit,
just
it's
hold
like
it.
it's foreign to Tommy.
I go.
Why do you like? What's a gym?
I go to the gym too all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I pull into the
12-ounce
parking.
curls.
That's right. That's right. There's a restaurant called The Gym. I go there all the time.
Yeah, it sells burgers.
Sells burgers, that's right. You don't know how much heavy lifting goes into picking up 3/4 ounce, burgers and,
Oh, dude, you're a model for it. Like, I could see
Right?
it.
I am a
Heck
model.
yeah.
That's hard work.
You're damn right.
That's years of perfecting your craft.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Years
that's
of dedication.
That's exactly. You know what, Kyle? You're absolutely right. That's how I keep my curvy figure. You know that, right?
And I know you fish a lot, but if you were eating fish, you would be a different.
I'm gonna tell you
shape.
something that most people will agree on. Chicks dig chubby dudes.
Okay.
I'm going to have to agree with that.
That's right. See, Kyle knows. Chicks dig chubby guys, man.
I hope you're right.
With beard. With beard.
With beards. That even better.
With beard.
That's right.
I grew my beard out for the show.
And you still look like a boy wearing a mask.
That's okay. You have to have.
You look like you bought like one of those Halloween beards, like trying to grow up, and you're like, look at me, I'm old. And they're like, sir, we still need to check your ID for the pink beard.
We're gonna have
buying.
Kyle back because we interrupted his entire podcast. Like, it was mostly you and I talking, and it should have been Kyle.
But you know what?
And now we have to move on to the next caller because we're behind. So,
but you know what? I enjoy talking to Kyle. So
yeah, but we didn't give him his own time.
Fun.
So
he didn't mind. He just had fun, and that's all that matters.
From all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box, Kyle, fish more, tight lines, happy fishing.
Buddy.
We'll get you back on the show because we interrupted yours, but we love having you.
Will do, guys.
Absolutely,
All right. Thanks,
bud.
Kyle.
Take care, bud.
Take care.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay.
No problem. Bye bye.